being
What car
honest.
did your dad drive you to school in?
So my dad did.
No, one answer.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be looking at the most ridiculous instances when celebrities misrepresented their upbringings with over-the-top tales of hardship to make their rise to fame seem more dramatic.
I bet you'll hear my whistle blowing when my train rolls in.
Bob Dylan. Regarded as one of the greatest songwriters ever, Bob Dylan crafts intricate tales with his tunes.
Williams and Singer, who at just 24 years owns a tobacco farm of 600 acres.
However, some of the stories he has told about his own life border on outright fiction. Dylan, who was raised in Minnesota by both parents, once claimed that he didn't actually know them.
My father and his brothers, they had an electrical store. The first job I ever had was sweeping up the store, and I was supposed to learn the discipline of hard work or something.
This lie was later debunked by a reporter who spoke with Dylan's brother and revealed that he brought his parents to his shows and put them up at nearby hotels. The singer also claimed he was raised in New Mexico and ran away to join a carnival in his teens.
Circuses came through. There were tent shows at the Kearney Midways, and they had barkers.
In reality, he remained in Minnesota until he dropped out of college in his first year and moved to New York to chase his musical dreams. Kylie Jenner. In 2019, Forbes magazine stirred up quite the commotion by declaring Kylie Jenner as the world's youngest self-made billionaire, with an estimated net worth of $1 billion.
I knew I was passionate about makeup, but I didn't know I could have fun every day doing my job.
In the same interview, Jenner, who was 21 at the time, backed the self-made label, claiming she was cut off financially by her parents at 15. She essentially implied that she had single-handedly built her cosmetics empire without any inherited wealth.
I was so focused on formula and color, but everything else just kind of fell into place.
But many in the public weren't buying it. After all, Jenner had a massive head start, born into immense privilege and able to capitalize on her family's famous name. With the public backlash mounting, Jenner eventually did an about turn, admitting she had a lot of help and a huge platform.
If you're building something from the ground up, do something that you're passionate about. So you just have fun every day and you love what you do.
Drake. Started from the bottom, now he's here. But just how long was that bottom for Drake?
I done kept it real from the jump. Living at my mama's house, we'd argue every Monday.
According to the rapper, his childhood was downright miserable, growing up dirt poor in a broken home. Makes for a dramatic rise to the top, right? Well, not everyone agrees with this depiction.
We don't like to do too much explaining. Stories stay the same, I never changed it.
Drake's critics argue that he spent part of his childhood in Forest Hills, one of the wealthiest areas in Toronto. Plus, he shot to fame in his teens on the hit Canadian series Degrassi: The Next Generation before pivoting to music. Nevertheless, Drake insists he started from humble beginnings. If living in a posh neighborhood and being a TV star is his definition of bottom, we can only wonder what the top looks like. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift hasn't exactly gone around claiming she grew up poor, but you don't always have to say something outright to give people that impression.
I was raised on a farm, no it wasn't a mansion.
Through her music, she's managed to craft the image of a modest upbringing, notably in tracks like I Bet You Think About Me. Granted, she did spend her early years on a farm, but her parents were finance executives who ran the farm as a hobby, not out of necessity.
In my heart is a Christmas tree farm where the people would come to dance under sparkling lights.
Swift's childhood was quite the opposite of underprivileged. She grew up in Pennsylvania, enjoyed summers at her family's vacation home in New Jersey, and jetted off to New York City for vocal and acting lessons. But that wouldn't make for a very compelling song, would it?
And when the world isn't there, I pretend that we're there.
Rebel Wilson. If we're to believe Rebel Wilson, then she's lived quite the adventurous life.
So I went from this girl who has just worked her absolute ass off to get where she was, to just being torn down in a second, in a 24-hour period.
In past interviews, she's claimed to have grown up in a poor Sydney neighborhood, entered a leopard's cage in Zimbabwe, gotten caught up in a shootout, and contracted malaria in Mozambique. This bout with malaria allegedly landed her in the ICU, where she hallucinated about winning an Oscar and rapping her acceptance speech. Quite the wild ride.
Yes, I'm an actress and I'm in the public eye, but I'm a human being who worked really, really hard to get to that point.
However, in 2015, an Australian magazine challenged her tales, claiming Wilson had a very normal upper-middle-class upbringing and embellished parts of her childhood. Wilson denied these allegations, sued the magazine for defamation, and won. However, some folks from her pre-fame days maintain that her upbringing was more privileged than she's let on.
Now that the career seems back on track, I feel like hopefully next year I can have more balance in my life and aim towards that.
Vanilla Ice. In 1990, rapper Vanilla Ice shot to stardom with his smash hit Ice Ice Baby. The song was a huge success, becoming the first hip-hop single to top the Billboard Hot 100.
Deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony.
With this newfound fame came an increased scrutiny into his personal life and background. Ice had claimed he grew up on the tough streets of Miami and won multiple national motocross championships.
Quick to the point, no faking. Cooking MCs like a pound of bacon.
But as the press dug deeper, they discovered that he spent most of his youth in an affluent Dallas neighborhood, and there was no proof of any championship wins. It all seemed like a flimsy attempt to gain street credibility in the rap community. Spoiler alert, it didn't quite work out.
If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while DJ revolves it. Ice, ice.
Whitney Cummings. As kids, we often latch onto TV shows with characters we can relate to. For Whitney Cummings, that show was Roseanne.
But yeah, I grew up watching Roseanne.
The comedian claims she identified with the working class family because she grew up in an underprivileged household herself. This sounds all fine and dandy until you dig into her actual background.
We're living in a fascinating time. We're living in a time where women have money.
Cummings is said to have grown up in a swanky part of West Virginia, attended a $50,000 a year prep school in Maryland, and even had her own horse. From her fancy prep school, she then moved on to the University of Pennsylvania, a private Ivy League college. We're not saying she's lying, but there's a reason why Two Broke Girls had more viewers than, say, The OC.
Ryan, stay out of this. It's none of your business.
Kid Rock. Kid Rock was born in 1971 to millionaire car dealership owner William Bill Ritchie.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west where real women come equipped with scripts and fake press.
Raised in a mansion on his father's luxurious estate in Michigan, the musician had a comfortable childhood. If he ever got bored of that house, he could simply travel to their second home in Jupiter Island, Florida, rubbing shoulders with neighbors like Celine Dion and Tiger Woods. So how does Kid Rock describe his upbringing? Well, he's painted a rags to riches picture, claiming he hustled his way from the ground up with sheer grit, business savvy, and self-taught skills. If you're paying attention, you'll know that's a far cry from the truth.
The people that don't like me, they can go on this internet and find enough stuff to make them hate me.
It appears not many celebrities realize that the first step to being relatable is honesty. Ed Sheeran. In 2014, award-winning singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran released his memoir, A Visual Journey.
I haven't slept for the past week, and 2 hours ain't enough for me.
In it, he recounted a time before he became famous when he had nowhere to stay. He claimed he scraped by playing tiny gigs and that he couldn't afford rent. So he resorted to couch surfing and even once slept outside Buckingham Palace.
I was very lucky in the sense of people giving me sofas and spare rooms every now and then.
This experience apparently inspired his song Homeless.
It's not a homeless life for me. It's just I'm home less than I'd like to be.
But all of this was surprising because Sheeran was reportedly born to wealthy parents who made their living in the art industry. When fans pointed out the inconsistency, Sheeran clarified that he actually wasn't homeless, he just went without a bed some nights.
It's not a homeless life for me. It's just I'm home less than I'd like to be.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Victoria Beckham. If you're going to misrepresent your upbringing, make sure the person who knows you the best isn't in the room.
I mean, I think also we both come from families that work really hard. Both of our parents work really hard. We're very working class.
Be honest.
Victoria Beckham learned this lesson the hard way. During an interview for the Netflix documentary about her and her husband, David, Beckham claimed to have come from a working-class background. David wasted no time in setting the record straight, pushing her to reveal what type of car her father drove her to school in.
It's not a simple answer
What
because...
What did you get your dad to drive?
It depends.
No.
After attempting to dodge the question, Beckham ultimately confessed the truth.
Okay, in the 80s, my dad had a Rolls Royce.
The clip received mixed reactions online. Some loved the couple's playful banter, while others criticized Beckham for trying to bend the truth. Well, what did anyone expect? There's a reason she was called Posh Spice.
Are you for real?
What other celebrities do you know that have lied about their childhood? Let us know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.